Okay, so, I almost died. That was fun. What happened was that I took this thing to the Yellowstone River, or I got in at the Tongue River, and it carried on into the Yellowstone. But, I was gonna go floating down the river because it's summer and I have a day off, and my ex best friend and I were planning on doing this months ago, but we're not friends anymore now that summer's here and I have a day off, and I spent a ton of money on this big ass thing. Look at that. It's almost as big as a couch. And to think I almost bought the one that was twice this size. But whatever. So, I went floating and it was fun. It was great for like half an hour or so. It was calm and it was nice and it was enjoyable and it was peaceful. And then um, uh, I figured that I would just keep going for a really long time. And I got past this place where it's like really, really far away from my house, by the way. And I knew where I was. It's just that I was getting really far away from my house. And keep in mind, I'm wearing denim shorts and I'm soaking wet, so that was a thing that was gonna hurt me eventually. So at one point, the water got kind of forceful, and the current was like really strong, and I couldn't get out. And I was like, if I try to get out now, then I might die. I might as well wait until it calms down a little bit, and I can manage to get out somewhere. The current did not calm down, like, ever. And at one point I was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna swim towards the shore. I have no way of knowing how deep this water is, but I'm gonna try to swim to the shore. So I swam sideways towards the shore, and it took a while because of the water and how forceful the current was, but I made it out alive. Thank God. And I climbed on the shore in all the mud, and I climbed up onto this place in this tall grass, and I wandered around aimlessly for like 2 hours trying to figure out where I was, or like 2 or 3 hours trying to figure out where I was and how to get home, and I was freaking out. I mean, I did have some food and drinks. I brought juice boxes and apple juice and some granola bars and trail mix and stuff like that, but not like a bottle of water or anything that would actually help me, and nothing that would last much more than like a night or so. So I wandered around for a while, and then I found this place where I knew where it was. This place it's called Koala Wash, and it is this place where they wash the outsides of trains, like train cars, cargo cars. So, and I know where this place is because there's like an interstate or a highway kind of like a block away from it, and I know how to get home from there. It's just that the only thing standing between me and being able to get home from the Koala Wash was a fence. And I walked the entire length of the fence and I couldn't get around it. This is a really tall chain fence with barbed wire on the top. And at one point, I was like, screw it, I'm gonna climb over the fence. Because it's a dead end either way, there's no way around it. And I was trying to dig under it with a rock, but that wasn't working out too well. So I decided I was going to try to climb over it, and I almost broke my foot. So I just stood there, and luckily I had my phone with me, and I was, like, I had to turn on my data, because there was no Wi-Fi. I had to turn on my data, and I was Googling, like, the non-emergency 911 number, or how to climb over a fence, or, stuff like that. And, like, I was stranded, and I had no idea what to do, and I was getting really scared, because at this point, I've been out here for, like, 4 hours, and I have food and drink, but I can't be stranded out here forever. So I decided that I was going to try to climb the fence over and over and over again, and that didn't work. So, and I just stopped, and I threw my float thing, over the fence, and I was sitting in the grass, and I had my little cooler here, full of, like, snacks and drinks, and I was just sitting there, just chilling. And keep in mind, there's a road, like, right on the other side of the fence, and people are driving back and forth constantly. But no one is stopping to even look at me, or try to help me, until these two guys came along. These two, like, big, like, tough hillbilly type of men come along, and they're like, hey, do you have someone on their way to help you? And I was like, no, I'm stuck. And they're like, okay, we're gonna go get a ladder and we'll be right back. And I was like, well, shit, thanks. Like, I was, like, so grateful. Like, I almost cried. And they drove off, and they went and got a ladder, or 2 ladders, actually, and they came back, and they helped me climb over the fence, despite my fear of heights. I climbed over the fence, and I got my stuff, and they were asking me, like, where do you live, or where are you going from here, and how did you manage to be on that side of the fence, and I was telling him everything. And I was like, oh, my house is right in between the high school and the college, which is what I tell people when I don't want them to know where I live, because that's naturally what you do. But it's not a lie either. It's just, like, a very vague truth, I guess. But I was like, I was getting ready to just walk home, and they were like, oh, do you have a car or something? Is someone gonna come pick you up? And I was like, no, I gotta walk, but I'm okay. And they were like, well, we can get you at least partway home. And I was like, thanks. Like, they've already done enough for me, and I don't want to do anything or have them do any more for me. But I ended up having them, they offered to take me to the park that is a couple blocks away from my house. And they dropped me off, and as they were dropping me off, I was like, if there's any way I can pay you back, just let me know. And they were like, no, don't worry about it, it's fine. And I was like, well, now I feel bad because I just had you save my life, and you don't want me to pay you back? Like, what? So they dropped me off and told me to have a better afternoon than what I had already been through, and I was like, yeah, anything, literally anything would be better than what I just went through. And they were like, yeah, Oh shit, look at my legs. Yeah, all this mud and dirt and crap on my legs is from climbing up um, on the shore after getting out of the water because it was so muddy. And my feet are nasty. Like, because I was wearing these shoes. Let me show you. I was wearing these water shoes. Brand new shoes. Without socks. And I got really dirty. I got my shoes really dirty. It's nasty. But anyways, I watched the rest of the way home, and they drove off, and the entire way home, I was like, okay, I'm ready to die now. Because this is so embarrassing, and I don't want this to be one of those late night thoughts that I have, or like, in the shower, like shower thoughts, or like 3 a.m. thoughts that keeps me awake, like, shit. Like, if those guys hadn't come along, I would be dead now. But it's whatever. I'm safe. I'm fine. And I've learned my lesson. I will never, ever, ever do that again. Matter of fact, I might go floating down the river again someday. But, like, I'll have, like, a paddle and possibly some bolt cutters or something. And I'm gonna get off a lot sooner, so that I don't get stranded on that side of the fence again. And, yeah, just kind of a PSA, don't do what I did, because that was really stupid and dangerous, and one of the most terrifying things that a person can experience is a near-death experience. But, yeah, I'm okay. And I'm lucky to be alive. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, I guess.